Labor Day, and the commissioner of baseball is out of a job. Fay Vincent resigns under fire. In the summer of '92, the presidential candidates invoke the winner of '48.
Harry Truman ran in as an underdog, just as I am, and he liked it, and so do I.
Harry Truman had a sign on his desk. You remember what it said? The buck stops here.
And Eye on America. Tonight, a growing U.S. export. Workers.
But the prospects were much brighter in Japan.
This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening. I'm Connie Chung, sitting in tonight for Dan Rather. It's a forced out for the commissioner of baseball. Fay Vincent gave in to the demands of most team owners and resigned today, ending a power struggle that had dragged on for months. Bill Lagatuda has our report.
It would be a very bad mistake for baseball to have the owners in a position where they can push people out in the middle of a term.
After vowing to fight any attempt to remove him as commissioner, Fay Vincent changed his mind and from seclusion in Cape Cod today issued a statement saying the legal battle that most surely would have ensued would not be in the best interest of baseball. Vincent said, litigation does nothing to address the serious problems of baseball. I cannot govern as commissioner without the consent of the owners to be governed. Last week, the owners voted 18-9 that Vincent should go.
That those clubs voting in favor of this resolution will not vote in favor of the re-election of Commissioner Fay Vincent to another term of office when such matter is presented to the Major League clubs for vote. And further resolved that Commissioner Fay Vincent be requested to resign.
Requested to resign because the bylaws of Major League Baseball state the commissioner can't be fired. Always in baseball, it was understood the commissioner should be able to make painful rulings without the fear of retribution. But it seemed every ruling Fay Vincent made angered more and more of the owners. His most recent decision to realign the National League. The Chicago Cubs are fighting him in court. His decision to ban then reinstate Yankees owner George Steinbrenner. And his well-known opposition to TV superstations. Plus, many owners felt that Vincent's hardline approach would jeopardize the season next year when talks opened with the Players Union. American League President Bobby Brown at the U.S. Open had this reaction late today.
We've been through some real turbulent times in the recent past, and I think everybody in baseball was hoping that in some way these could be resolved in a very orderly and peaceful way so we could get back to baseball on the field.
This evening, the owner of the Chicago White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf, who led the anti-Fay Vincent movement, issued a statement saying, "I'm glad the commissioner made the decision for himself." Now, as they choose a successor, the owners themselves are talking about rewriting the bylaws of baseball to change the rules of the commissioner's office, making it more of a CEO, chief executive officer, answerable to the board members, the owners. Fay Vincent, it seems, Connie, was a little bit too independent for their tastes.
Bill, the owners will probably name an interim commissioner, won't they?
Yes, they will, and two names are being tossed about tonight. One of them, Ron Brown, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, though understandably his hands are full these days. The other name being tossed about is Lee MacPhail, the former president of the American League, former general manager of the New York Yankees. Probably safe bet to conclude that Lee MacPhail is the front runner now for interim baseball commissioner.
All right, thank you. Bill Lagatuda in Los Angeles. Labor Day is the traditional start of the presidential campaign. Today, President Bush and Bill Clinton kept up the tradition, hitting the stump and laying claim to the legacy of a former president. Susan Spencer begins our coverage.
The campaign's kickoff found President Bush pulling ahead in the Labor Day walk across Mackinac Bridge, encouraging analogies to his race for the White House. More analogies encouraged at Stop 2, Waukesha, Wisconsin, where underdog Harry Truman once campaigned. If anyone is Truman's heir, Mr. Bush said, he is.
Harry Truman was a man of decisiveness, not equivocation. He'd find little in common with the Governor Clinton, a man who hedges or ducks on almost every tough issue. But you can't be on every side of every issue, waffling around, and call that leadership.
But even Harry Truman, who, by the way, did not get Mr. Bush's vote, might be nervous today in his shoes.
The size of the president's problem is that he needs to win about 2/3 if not 3/4 of all of the votes that still have not been firmly decided.
That huge task had the president looking for votes this afternoon near Detroit, a Polish neighborhood filled with Reagan Democrats, many of whom, like Reagan Democrats throughout the Midwest, are unhappy with the economy and threatening to desert.
People really are upset about the direction of the country, and they want to know, as I said, what's George Bush going to do to fix it, and is the guy really going to be committed to fixing this country's problems and not problems around the world?
The vision thing may still be lacking, but since Jim Baker and his aides took charge of the campaign 2 weeks ago, Mr. Bush's focus has been the economy, and he scored points by doling out economic goodies to key states. Watch for more of that, plus intensified efforts to raise doubts about Bill Clinton's character. But in 57 days, can the president turn it around?
Clinton has been a better candidate than I expected he would be. He is a formidable candidate. And in the end, it's going to be a very close race.
Mr. Bush's challenge is what it's always been: convince voters that 4 more years would be better than the last 4 years, or at least better than 4 years of President Clinton. Susan Spencer, CBS News, the White House.
This is Richard Threlkeld reporting. For Bill Clinton, all the past 8 months have been prologue for now, 57 days and counting to November 3rd.
And God bless America.
Today, Clinton started in Independence, Missouri, Democratic President Harry Truman's hometown. As to George Bush's attempt to appropriate Truman as the symbol of his own campaign, Clinton was having none of it.
Harry Truman woke up every day dedicated to doing right by the people with whom he grew up and with whom he lived. The people who work hard, raise their kids, pay the taxes, and play by the rules. Harry Truman did not wake up every morning worrying about how to lower taxes one more time on millionaires.
Clinton's speech was cut short by a sudden Missouri gully washer, but his message that this election is a battle between the rich and the rest of America will remain front and center this last 8 weeks.
We're going to keep fighting to make the economy and to make the economic future for America's middle class the real issue in this campaign, and not let the Republicans use their old tactics of trying to divert us with personal negative attacks.
A message focused most likely on 6 battleground states whose electoral votes are crucial to both parties, and a message which will have to go beyond policy prescriptions to the question of Clinton himself.
The public wants change. They know Clinton will bring change, but they're not sure that they can trust Clinton to bring the right sorts of change. He's got to show courage. He's got to show discipline. He's got to prove that while he will spend more money than Republicans, he won't give away the store.
Clinton is not a gambler, so it's unlikely he's going to do anything to risk his current lead in the polls. As long as that lead holds, there'll be an argument in the Clinton campaign between those who want to play to win and those who just want to play defense. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, Independence, Missouri.
Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, 2 weeks after the hurricane, too many people still waiting for help. And a grim reminder that peace seldom lingers in South Africa.
They've taken the secret. Europeans are upset. The Kellogg's Muesli cereal uses their secret recipe.
Yes, we kept in the family.
After all, they've been guarding this delicious secret forever. Ah, but this luscious blend of sweet fruit, crunchy nuts, and crisp whole grains was destined to become Kellogg's Mueslix.
Angelina, you told?
It wasn't me. I swear.
Kellogg's Mueslix, the European secret for great taste.
After examining, testing, it's a fact. You can buy new Preparation H hydrocortisone cream with the maximum strength available without a prescription to relieve problem itch. New Preparation H hydrocortisone cream. Prescription strength without a prescription.
The prospects for peace in South Africa seem even more remote tonight after a horrifying bloodbath. Members of the African National Congress were marching in Ciskei, one of South Africa's so-called independent black homelands, when local troops opened fire. At least 24 of the marchers were killed, nearly 200 wounded. Mike Sullivan in South Africa has more.
Thousands of African National Congress supporters had gathered on the South African Ciskei border, determined to march into the homeland to try to force the government there to accept democracy. But Ciskei army and police units were out in force, determined to control any march. Without warning, Ciskei forces opened fire on the ANC marchers and then kept shooting and shooting and shooting. Protesters dove for cover, dragging the wounded and injured as the gunfire continued. As the extent of the carnage became apparent, a shocked ANC Secretary General Cyril Ramaphosa was led from the scene. Then, scores of dead and wounded were ferried to nearby hospitals. South African President F.W. de Klerk blamed the ANC for the clash and said his government had attempted to defuse the situation.
We are deeply shocked. It could have been avoided. By cooperation, it could have been avoided.
But the ANC laid the blame squarely on de Klerk's doorstep, saying the Ciskei is merely a puppet state supported and armed by South Africa.
There is no way de Klerk cannot be held responsible for the massacre which took place this afternoon.
Tonight, as South Africa is plunged into another crisis of confidence, the real losers once again are ordinary people. Mike Sullivan for CBS News, Johannesburg.
A new study suggests that too much iron in the bloodstream may pose a bigger risk of heart attack than cholesterol or high blood pressure. That's the conclusion of an 8-year study of men in Finland. And researchers say it is the first solid evidence linking excess iron to heart disease. Now from around the world, more CBS News. A team of UN weapons experts left Baghdad today after the latest round of inspections. The team leader said monitoring Iraqi waterways for radioactivity could be a foolproof way to detect any secret nuclear activity. In Sarajevo, most schools reopened for a new term today, but not this one. Firefighters were forced to watch the building burn down after it was hit by shell fire. The breakdown of a pumping station has left the besieged city desperately short of water. Now appearing in Japanese showrooms, the Scepter. It's a station wagon made entirely in the United States at a Toyota plant in Kentucky. Toyota hopes to sell about $700 a month, sticker price $24,000. A twin-engine plane carrying skydivers crashed and burned today in Hinckley, Illinois, about 50 miles west of Chicago. About 13 people were on board. There were no survivors. In Higgins, Pennsylvania, animal rights activists tried to disrupt the annual pigeon shoot for charity. More than 50 were arrested. And this is the traditional end of summer, a summer that broke with tradition. It was America's third wettest and third coolest summer since the Weather Service started keeping records in 1895. Stay with us now for more CBS News, including Eye on America. Tonight, if you can't find a job, you might want to head to Japan.
Wilfred Brimley for Quaker Oats.
Every day should start with Quaker Oats. Every day should feel this good. Nothing cold can make you feel the way hot oatmeal could.
I feel real good because I eat real good. These hot whole oats and Quaker Oats are nourishing, pure and powerful.
Every day should feel this good.
2 a.m., 36 Pine Street. Apartment 4C has a backache and can't sleep. 3C overdid her afternoon workout and is paying the price. 2C had an aching back, but fortunately, she also has Tylenol PM, with extra strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help her sleep. And a good night's sleep was all she needed to make her day a whole lot brighter. Tylenol PM, so you can rest easy.
I was really downing those tablets. Come on, they're not candy. I started to think there was something really wrong with my stomach. I was relieved when my doctor told me to try a new antacid tablet.
Introducing Mylanta tablets, shown to neutralize more stomach acid than the leading tablet.
Unbelievable.
New Mylanta tablets.
My doctor said Mylanta.
He's a priest. He's also accused of child molesting. Father, have you sinned? And think your seatbelt will save your life? Think again. The season premiere of Street Stories, Thursday.
For people shattered by Hurricane Andrew 2 weeks ago, this Labor Day was no day off. Complaints persist that the main federal agency responsible for disaster relief still isn't working hard enough. Scott Pelley reports.
Today, U.S. Army helicopters broke through a supply bottleneck, landing every few minutes in devastated South Florida.
We're getting food, toiletry items, lumber, roofing, tar. You name it, they're sending it in here.
60 helicopters landed at this base alone, bypassing jammed highways and delivering supplies that had been tied up for days.
Straight line, people, straight line, right here.
Also today, hundreds lined up for food stamps, which this morning became available to every disaster victim. Tammy Yance has never been on public assistance before.
I paid my taxes. I deserve it. You know, I worked hard. Now I can't work right now, so I need money. My kids need, I need food. My kids need food, so you should qualify for a grant.
Nearby, Monica Kiefer applied for a federal disaster grant. Like the application says, she lost everything.
Furniture, dishes, towels, everything we own. Right now, we're just living on the free food, lots of SpaghettiOs.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency told Monica to come back for a check in 2 weeks.
You guys know what you want.
At a meeting today, victims complained that FEMA is responding slowly and failing to reach people who have no cars or phones.
You can talk all you want in here, but if you get out here and start telling these people where to meet and where the servers are located, because we don't have nothing down here.
FEMA says it is already handing out $1 million a day and must be careful to check out each applicant.
We have to meet the people for the first time, understand what their needs are, and then provide what the law allows to meet those needs.
Sure, no problem.
Late this afternoon, FEMA set up a satellite system so people without phones can apply for disaster grants. Nearby, those waiting for assistance began filling military camps to near capacity. At least 2,500 evacuees are now living in tents, and officials are trying to determine whether to open a 5th military camp to house hundreds more. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Homestead, Florida.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Israel now ready to propose what some considered unthinkable, trade land for peace with Syria.
Well, I do watch my figure.
She's a beautiful girl.
But fat-free cereal.
Fat-free cereal?
I'd rather eat regular cereal and just dance more.
She's a beautiful dancer.
Now this, crispy, simple, wonderful, probably loaded with fat.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes have always been fat-free.
Fat-free? Kellogg's Corn Flakes? You're not telling me the truth.
Is he bothering you?
Taste them again for the first time.
If you give up AT&T quality and call from Phoenix to Dallas with someone else, here's your big savings. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
Our competition uses a very sophisticated, state-of-the-art, highly precise device to measure their cars. Our car, the Accord from Honda.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with FiberCon? Doctor-recommended FiberCon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy-to-swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
Bill Cosby. He's been known to make you laugh, and now he's making you money. You want to be on his new show? You Bet Your Life, tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin said today that Israel is willing to negotiate an interim security agreement with Syria while an overall peace pact is being worked out. The Washington peace talks are in recess. But as Bob Simon reports, expectations are mounting that the disputed Golan Heights may change hands again.
The words come from Washington, but the impact is here on the Golan Heights. For the first time in 25 years, Israel says it will return at least some of this land to Syria in exchange for peace. For the first time, Syria says it's ready for peace.
It seems like a change, it sounds like a change, and I believe that this is a change.
In 2 wars, Israel lost 1,000 men capturing and holding the Golan, holding a slice of rocky terrain 1/3 the size of Long Island. It's the most strategic site held by Israel, separating it from the nation which has always been its most implacable enemy. This is the Israeli argument for keeping the Golan in a pillbox. Before the '67 war, Syrian artillery rained fire down on Israeli farms in the Galilee from these positions. Now the Israelis have the high ground, and they're really worried about giving it up.
Can we invite Assad to sit on top of those hills to watch Haifa? It's the beginning of the next war.
The Heights have become home to some 13,000 Israeli settlers. They built the good life on the Golan, transforming barren hills into fertile farms, constructing Israel's one and only ski resort, growing vineyards which now produce some of the best wine in the Middle East, secure in their belief that it would flow forever because Syria would never sue for peace.
This is people's homes in the area, and I think anybody would be concerned about it, having their home given back to somebody else.
A delegation of Golan settlers went to see Prime Minister Rabin looking for assurances. They left empty-handed. And all over Israel, people are just beginning to think the unthinkable.
It's too fast, it's too quick. People will have to get used to the idea.
They'll have time. At best, progress will come in stages. When talks resume in Washington next week, sources say Israel might declare a readiness for a small interim withdrawal in return for a Syrian declaration of non-belligerency. Far from peace, but a step away from the state of war, which has prevailed for almost 50 years. Bob Simon, CBS News, on the Golan Heights.
Must be the center of town.
One of the nice things about our job is you never know where you'll go next. But the best part is when you knock on the door and see dreams come true.
Oh my God! Congratulations from Publishers Clearinghouse.
We're the Prize Patrol from Publishers Clearinghouse, and we're about to go on the road again. Send in your entry now if you'd like us to make you a millionaire soon.
Your Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge dealers announce the wide-open Spacious Sale. A sale on America's lowest price 6-passenger cars. Spacious Acclaim from Chrysler, Plymouth. Spacious Spirit from Dodge. Both offer automatic. Plus now at no charge, air, tilt, tinted glass, cruise, and more. Yes, all at no charge. Now also with $1,000 cash back. Up to $2,600 total savings for their lowest prices ever. Under $11,200. Now at your Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge dealers.
Every second of an asthma attack can feel like an eternity. That's why there's Primatene Mist. Primatene opens clogged breathing tubes fast when speed counts. Primatene Mist, fastest type asthma relief without a prescription.
When I was little, I was always getting caught with my hand in the cookie jar. And I still love sweet things, like Sunsweet pitted prunes. So you see, nothing's changed, except my cookie jar. Is this seat taken?
No, please.
So that's what you're eating? Too bad.
This is a whole grain cereal.
Yes, with sugar and preservatives.
Oh, and I suppose that you're a
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, it's made with pure whole grain.
Oh, really?
It's the only whole grain cereal without sugar or preservatives added.
The only one? I didn't know.
I know.
So what else should I know?
You have milk on your chin.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, as good as whole grain gets.
Nearly 10 million Americans are out of work this Labor Day. If you were one of them, just how far would you go to get a job? Well, some Americans are going all the way to the Far East, as Bill Whitaker reports in tonight's Eye on America.
In office towers and on the streets of Tokyo, young Americans are saying things people back home might find hard to believe.
In a lot of ways, Japan is the land of opportunity.
The money and the jobs were a lot easier to find in Japan.
I came here yesterday. I found a job today.
With the U.S. recession slashing jobs, a rising tide of young, educated Americans, several thousand a year, is flowing across the Pacific to Japan, America's chief economic competitor. They come seeking opportunities many say they can't find at home. A few, like dancer Stephen Haynes, come looking for stardom in a less competitive arena than New York or Hollywood.
Wow! I've done over 20 TV commercials. I've done several movies. More opportunities you can have here faster than I feel you can have at home.
But the vast majority come for more basic reasons, like earning a decent wage.
I work in a fast food restaurant.
Like most of the economic migrants, Craig Swartout teaches English to Japanese business people. He and his wife Rebecca are doing so well they can afford to move to a larger apartment in pricey Tokyo.
Why did I bring this?
They came last year out of desperation, sinking in debt, working at a California child abuse center. This year, they expect to earn $72,000 teaching English, triple their California income.
I had this huge student loan that I couldn't pay. I could continue doing what I was doing, not making ends meet, or I could go to Japan for a year and get rid of all of it.
All your debts?
All my debts.
They're coming even though Japan is suffering through a recession of its own. But it's mild by American standards. Unemployment is only about 2%. And some Japanese companies still are hiring young American college grads with an eye toward being even more competitive when times get better. While American firms are cutting entry-level positions, Seattle native Frank Douglas is being groomed by Daiwa Bank to one day help run its expanding U.S. operation.
They thought, I was flexible enough to be able to work in a Japanese company. They wanted someone that they could mold to, like they say, to be the Daiwa man.
Co-worker Stephen LeBrock was turned down by a number of American companies. Daiwa snapped him up.
You figure in the United States is your country and you're supposed to be able to get a good job there if you've got some marketable skills. But the prospects were much brighter in Japan, and that's kind of sad.
Most don't land corporate jobs, and the vast language and cultural differences keep all but the most adventurous away. But many economists say if the U.S. doesn't get its economic house in order, even more young Americans may come looking for work in Japan.
We don't realize that we haven't been doing enough, and I think it's going to require a lot more effort and a lot more work on the part of a lot of Americans to catch up.
After 2 years teaching English here, Ian and Whitney Harriser are homesick for San Diego. They plan to return at the end of the year, but they worry whether they will find decent jobs.
We are endeavoring to be optimistic because we still believe that if you put in an honest day's work and believe in yourself, you can come up with something.
It's not a guarantee anymore, and being American isn't a guarantee anymore either.
Americans always have been willing to pick up and move to find work, but rarely, if ever, have they had to go so far. Bill Whitaker in Tokyo for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Dan Rather will be back tomorrow. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you again next Sunday night. Thank you for joining us, and for all of us at CBS News, good night.
Experience CBS News.
There's a cultural time bomb waiting to go off among these families. If it does, they'll lose something precious. We'll tell you what it is on Eye on America on the CBS Evening News tomorrow. This is CBS.